said that, no, you can't do it. And I was like, why?
Get rid of those limiting beliefs, because anything is possible.
I realized that I am limitless. Like this podcast, the name Limitless Lion.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Limitless Lion podcast show. Here, you're going to discover the infinite potential within you through other people's experiences and successes. You're going to get the knowledge, the tools, and the strategies you need to be unstoppable. Say goodbye to those limiting thoughts and beliefs, because it's time to dominate your life. And I'm your host, Shayan Tehrani. Today, we have an amazing guest, Shahrez Hayder. Thanks so much for coming on today. How you doing, my man?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me, Shayan.
Awesome, man. I'm so happy to have you on here. We go back a long time. We met through some of our marketing groups, man. It's been a great time. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You got the digital marketing agency going on. You're specializing in real estate. You got Digitized real estate going on. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, Digitized real estate. What can I say about Digitized real estate, man? I feel like that's my baby. Digitized real estate, it is a program I've created for real estate agents where they can learn how to brand themselves on social media, completely dominate the digital market, right? I want to make sure that they can tap into, new ways of marketing, because obviously the old ways are kind of outdated now. And that comes with lead generation, that comes with building a brand, building authority, building rapport, even sales, everything, right? So I've built a comprehensive program that they can follow step by step in order to completely take their real estate business online.
Gotcha. Yeah, dude, I've been seeing a lot of the stuff that you've been doing. It's pretty kick-ass, man.
Thanks, man.
I got to say, man, it's great. And, it's great. Like what made you kind of specialize in that real estate?
Well, what the thing is that I saw a major problem. Now, what happened was I started with real estate marketing. Now, real estate marketing, I was just doing lead gen and appointment setting. And what I realized is that our real estate agents weren't closing at a high rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to, identify problems, right? And what I was trying to see was, okay, what is causing them to not close at a high rate? Now I'm bringing them the appointments, I'm giving them the touches, but they're not able to close. So what I realized is that they need to get people to know, like, and trust them, build an authority, build a brand, and on top of that, have closing skills so that they can close clients more efficiently, right? Because you can have a real estate agent call you, get on an appointment with you, but if they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, then it's going to be a lot harder for them to close. However, if they were to hop on and, they were already to know the real estate agent, there was, real estate agent would have a whole bunch of content, then, there's a higher chance that the rapport has already been built through the content itself. And then there you go. You hop on the phone with a potential client and, now you've already got past that rapport building part. They already know you. They already like you. They already trust you. Now it's all up to you closing that client and then providing them with their most precious investment of their life.
Right. That's huge. Yeah, for sure. That makes the process a lot easier, which, I've seen a lot of people aren't really doing it that way. So that's really cool. So right now, we're going some crazy times. I got to say, like, coronavirus going on, and I'm sure it's impacting the real estate space as it has with everything. How is it affecting you guys? And how are you taking advantage of that? Because I know there's two types of people right now. There's people who are taking advantage of these times and looking at it as like an opportunity, and there's other people who are playing the victim and saying, you know what, I can't do what I want to do because of coronavirus, and so they're just kind of settling down.
when one door closes, another one always opens. And that's a saying that I've kind of lived by my whole life, right? We are always put in opportunities. There's this coronavirus thing is like a blessing in disguise. And that's just the mentality in the first place. Now, mindset plays a huge role in how you play, how you act in these times. Now, you could be sitting in the rain, walking in the rain, and you can be like, wow, this is so beautiful. Or you could be, walking with your head down saying, oh, this is terrible, right? It just takes a flip of the switch to realize, okay, which part of the spectrum I'm on. So when it comes to this whole coronavirus thing, some people look at it like, oh, wow, the world has stopped. It's frozen. Now it's my time to get ahead. And other people have looked at it as, oh, my goodness, like this is terrible. This is a catastrophe. This is chaos, right? The world's going to end.
That's a huge thing, like 100%. Like, sorry to butt in here, but I think that's such an important thing that you just mentioned. And I don't want people to, just take that lightly. Like, it's all about the perspective and how you're looking at it, because like you say, like you can look at it literally how you want to look at it, and that dictates everything. It totally dictates everything. Like, whether you want to take it as an opportunity and see it as a opportunity, you're going to look for the different things. It's all about the way you're focusing, right? If you're choosing to look at it as like a bad thing, you'll find every reason for it to be bad or not possible. But if you're looking like, how can I solve this problem? What way can I take advantage of this? How can this benefit me? If you're asking those questions and you're looking at it through that kind of lens, it makes all the difference.
Exactly. The world has stopped. The world has literally stopped. So many people are not doing business right now because they simply think they cannot do business. Nobody's willing to do business. That's happened in the real estate industry. That's happened in the e-commerce industry. That's happened even in, brick and mortar restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Right? People are thinking that the world has stopped. But those, the biggest companies come out of recessions. The biggest companies come out when the world has stopped. Think about Uber. Yeah. Uber came out in what time? The last recession.
Yep.
The Great Recession.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're looking at the biggest company, one of the biggest companies in the world, Uber.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand.
Came out, Instagram came out, Snapchat came out, Groupon came out in those times. I mean, it's the best time for new innovation to happen, and you're gonna, and just watch, right? Just watch in the next couple weeks, next couple months. There's going to be such an innovation happening that people are going to be like, man, why did I sleep on that? Like, why didn't I think of that?
Exactly. Now, there's two types of people in this situation, right? There are producers and there's consumers. Are we going to sit there in front of a television or mindlessly scrolling through social media? I'll just pull up my phone here. Mindlessly scrolling through social media.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to do that, or are we going to consume
the news,
all
right?
the information, binge watch Netflix,
yeah.
right? Or are we going to produce content? Are we going to produce information? Are we going to innovate? Are we going to influence? Are we going to build? Right? That is the mindset you kind of have to put into action there, right? What are you going to do? What is the perspective? Are you a consumer or are you a producer? Are you going to mess with your subconscious? Now, you already know that there's 20 million neurons that fire off in your subconscious every single second comparatively to the 20 that are in your conscious. So when you're sitting in front of TV, you're mindlessly scrolling through social media, you're binge watching Netflix, what are you doing? You're just adding a more scarcity mindset into your head, into your subconscious. You're programming your subconscious to behave like the rest of the world, the 99%.
And that happens without you even knowing it.
Exactly. You want to be a part of the 1%, what do you got to do? Throw away the fucking TV remote. Put your phone down. Don't look at your phone the first thing in the morning. Pick up a book. All right? Get to work. Bring out the notepad. Start brainstorming. Start making a change. Start building things. Start producing. Stop consuming. That's my number one rule to anybody.
It's such a big thing because you know what? Like in school, we were not taught about this. But the thing is that you guys have to take control of your mind. Like you said, you're scrolling through an Instagram, like you gave up complete control and you're letting whatever content comes in front of that screen dictate what you think and what you're thinking. And, you know, as you
Even
know,
if you're not, right? Your mind is registering what it is. The 5 seconds, you're looking at post 5 seconds or next, your mind still registered with that post, even though you stop thinking about it. Right? The power of subconscious is phenomenal.
I'm kind of going back to, you know, right now, like how are you guys doing? How are you guys handling everything with, you know, with Corona going on? You know, are you guys finding success? Like, how's that affecting your business right now?
Dude, our business is popping right now.
Yeah.
It's popping. Because, dude, I just doubled down on everything, right? You know, I saw the world slow down, and that's when Shahrez speeds up, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's been like the whole movement my whole life, right? When everybody else is partying, I'm working. When everybody else is, you know, taking a break, I'm working. When everybody else is, you know, snoozing around watching TV, I'm brainstorming.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop. I know you don't stop.
Right.
I know when everybody else is sleeping, me and you have been having conversations. We've known each other for a while. I know you don't stop. I know when everybody else is snoozing, doing their thing, you're picking up a book, you're learning, right? That's the same thing with me. And those are the people that innovate, right? So during this time, I've been able to pick up my business, been able to add to my business, be able to build more assets, digital assets as well, because I didn't hit the snooze button. Because I said, oh, you know, now everybody's scared. Now everybody's at home chilling for the past 60, 70 days.
You know what's funny about that? If
Yeah.
I never even picked up on the news, would anything change by now? Did your life
Sorry?
really even, if you didn't even like tune into the news, you know, like would anything have even changed? Like you could still go about your day working from home, you know? Like
Yeah.
I think that's something like, you know, if you get tuned into too much, you start to think about all this crazy stuff instead of just staying
100%.
focused.
100%. It's not only that, dude. It's everything in our lives. Okay. Now I'm going to speak to a lot of people when I say this. You want to do competitive analysis against your competitors in business. You're looking at all their success and you're getting anxiety. You're looking at it, you're getting confused. You're like, oh shit, this person's doing this person's doing this. And now you feel like all the money in the world has literally shrunk because all of these other people are out there grabbing it. Dude, the money hasn't shrunk. Your mindset has shrunk. Your mindset has shrunk. The money's always there. In fact, you can produce money out of thin air. You ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? You ever read the book Think and Grow Rich? It's not work and grow rich. It's think and grow rich. The money is there. Your mindset is the thing that you got to control. If you control your mindset, the money will come too, right?
100%.
That's the thing. You put on the news, it's the same thing. You're going to tune into that. That's going to put you in a scarce mindset. It's going to put you into fear mindset where you go, you buy a whole bunch of toilet paper. What?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Just hop on the wagon, right?
Hop on the wagon, right? Bandwagon it all the way until your pockets are empty and you realize you go check that bill and it says $500 spent at Walmart on toilet paper and cleaning products.
Yeah.
You know the people that invest into stocks early on, you know, people who invested in the Zoom early on before they hit that whole crash, the whole security issue. Dude, those people profited so much. Why? Because they saw that there was a demand for something. People are going to be switching digital.
Yeah.
So what do you got? Now you got, you know, people buying more webcams. You got people buying more mics. You got people buying light sets. You got people, you know, starting vlogs. People starting podcasts, right? But then you got the people that are just going to consume that content.
Right. Yeah. Are you going to be the creator or the consumer?
Yeah.
It's the day and age we're living in right now. You know, like it doesn't take much to start building your following and start building a personal brand. You know, I mean, if you you know, if anything, just get tuned into Gary Vee and he'll completely inspire you. But you know, we're on this podcast. We're going to show you all the little tools and strategies, and you know, also share with you the stories and successes of others, including yourself, Shahrez. You know, and just really, you know, get rid of those limiting beliefs because anything is possible. And so, you know, we want to get you on that right mindset. And mindset is everything. When it comes to business, 80% is mindset, 20% is the practical stuff. So, you know, you know, think about it. Like, what do you gotta learn, right? So I think that's something that's totally left out in the school system. You know, like we've never been taught that. And you know, I want the viewers kind of know, what is your story? Let's kind of go back and see, where Shahrez has come from, because, you have a great work ethic. You've gotten a lot of success right now. And so, I want people to understand where you've come from, because you have a really cool story.
Well, we'll bring this all the way back to Lahore, Pakistan, where I was born. I came to Canada, where I live right now currently, when I was 1 year old. And dude, it's been a roller coaster. I've had a roller coaster of a life. Everybody has their own story. I have mine. And I believe my story has made me. The thing about, hard times in life is those are the things that make you, right? I wanted to,
Right.
just take the time and say thank you to all my haters. Thank you to my parents for loving and supporting me, but also criticizing me and telling me I can't do a lot of shit. I want to say thank you to my brother, who's always tried to compete with me. I want to say thank you to everybody who's tried to hold me accountable. I want to say thank you to all these people, because that's made me who I am today. It's made me a highly competitive, highly confident, highly competent, highly convicted individual who believes that I can do anything. And just like the name of your show, Limitless Podcast, I believe that I can do anything and I'm limitless. Yeah. You already know. The whole thing about my story is that I grew up playing basketball. Basketball is what kind of made me in life. When things got hard, I was outside shooting, but it wasn't easy, right? I started playing when I was around 10, 11 years old, and a lot of people told me I couldn't play at a high level. They told me I couldn't play in school. I couldn't play at travel. I couldn't play national level. I couldn't go to college. I couldn't, play in the NBA. They said I couldn't do a lot of it, including the people that I love and care about the most and the people that I thought should disappoint me, right? However, that didn't stop me. That fueled a fire. That made it personal for me. That made me fierce, all right? It made me feel like, okay, you know what? Just watch. Just watch.
Made you fierce.
And exactly. And every single day, I was out there shooting. Rain, pouring rain, I'd be shooting. 6 a.m., no problem. 5 a.m., no problem. 4 a.m., no problem. I'd be shooting. I'd be dribbling. I'd be watching game film. I'd be watching the best players. And what happens? Peers would tell me, you're not going to make the team. Make the team. Yeah, I rode the bench, whatever. I made the team. First year playing, I made it. Next year, made it, got a few more minutes. Next year, captain of that team. Next year, playing travels. Next year, playing against the best competition in the world. I played against NBA players like DeAndre Ayton, right? Played alongside a whole bunch of high-level players, NBA players.
Wow.
Why? Because I believed in myself. Now, unfortunately, I tore my hip. Going into my last year where I was getting all the attention in the world, I tore my hip. And it was a hard, devastating time for me, And one of the reasons why I tore my hip is because I was very, very, very ungrateful. And I was taking a lot of stuff for granted. Right? I was cocky, confident, whatever you want to say. I was very, very full of myself. And I was taking things for granted. I went up for a dunk, came down, slipped, hip tore in half, couldn't walk for 2 months, depressed. What happened? Next, couldn't handle myself. Mindset went from here to here. Drinking, drugs, alcohol, partying, you name it. I was doing all of it right after that. I was the guy that never touched a drink until senior year of high school. And now I was doing that over and over and over again just to reduce the pain, put a Band-Aid on my pain. That I tore my hip, my dream's over. And the thing is, I could have easily, continued. A lot of people say, oh, you could have easily continued. But they say that now after my hip's healed, everything's healed. But when I tore my hip, I got zero emotional support, zero physical support, zero financial support. It was all over. It was done. Basketball was over. So what happens? You look for that inner strength. You look for that purpose. You look for those things in life that mean something to you. So what did I find? I found a purpose. I found love. I found my inner self. I found the confidence, the person that I am. I looked at different options. Where do I want to take my life? Where do I go from here? I know basketball is over.
So you were on your way to like the champion, like you were in the championship league. Like you were, pretty much like high up there. Like you were playing among the people who are in the NBA now, like when they were younger, right? So you were playing at a very high level. So
Yeah,
you were on your way to, to the big leagues, because you were so determined, and you were like, you just had so much drive in you because people were doubting you and you wanted to prove them right. So, and then all of a sudden, like that just completely shattered. Like you were on your way, you were like, you were determined. All of a sudden, like that was just taken away from like, no, Shahrez, you can't do it. This is
exactly. And you know what? I'm gonna say thank you to my Lord, right? I'm gonna thank God for that because that was a lesson. That was a beautiful lesson in itself. Why? Because if I didn't turn my hip, I wouldn't be in the place I am today. If I didn't turn my hip, I wouldn't have went out, got drunk, lost my mind, completely lost my mental sanity. I wouldn't have done all that to completely bring myself to ground zero and then bring myself back up. I wouldn't have realized what my inner strength was, the true warrior that Shahrez Hayder is, if it wasn't for that. Maybe I would just stay that same cocky, overconfident dude. And maybe I wouldn't give a shit about my family, my parents, my girl, the people around me, the people that in this world. No, I probably would have just done me the whole time with arrogance. But you know what? The thing is that everything happens for a reason. And if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I'm happily able to say that, I really care about a lot of people in my life. I care about my customers. I care about the people who give me their money, right? It wasn't always like that. Sometimes I'd say early on in my business years, sometimes it was like, oh, I just in it for the money, money. And that's it. I'm in the business of making money. But now I'm in the business of helping people. I'm in the business of changing lives. I'm in the business of making a difference, giving people the tools to succeed, helping them save money,
right.
having them save money and then make money at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's incredible. And so, I kind of want to just kind of backtrack for a second here. Like, I think there's a huge thing that happened there, and I want people to kind of understand like how they can come out of where they're at. Maybe they've gone through a similar time. Maybe they're in a dark place right now, kind of similar to yours. Maybe they've gotten their dreams shattered. Maybe these people have told them they can't do things, or they're just in this place that they need to get out of. So like I'm curious how you came out of that. Like you were in a dark place, you were doing the wrong things, hanging out with the wrong people at the wrong times all the time. Like what happened that you all of a sudden just kind of got out of that? Like your mind just shifted.
Find a purpose. It's that simple. Find a purpose and serve that purpose. And the thing about finding purpose is that it can be a lot clearer. It can be a lot easier than you think. A lot of people, they're living 10 years in the future, 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future. That gives anxiety. That causes anxiety. You think in the past, you're going to think with depression. If I look back at my torn hip and be like, oh man, I could have made it to the league, whatever, that's going to make me depressed if I think of it like that. But I look at that as a gift, regardless. If you look too far into the future, you're going to get anxiety. Live in the present. Look for your purpose. It's all around you. Whatever you love, whatever you legitimately care about, serve that purpose. And trust me, you will literally find yourself climbing out of that hole with extreme. It's like somebody's pulling you up. You're being assisted out of that hole. The weight's not on you anymore, right? And that's a very, very, very important thing, Shayan, is that a lot of people they don't understand that. When you're making money, when you're running a business, a lot of people just do it because they're in the business of making money. Hey, it's just about collecting the checks. But what is the purpose that you choose, right? The purpose that you serve, that makes a big difference. Because at the end of the day, I'll tell you one thing. When we go into our graves, that money's not coming with us. People are only going to remember us for the purpose we served. They're not going to remember us for our billion-dollar net worth. Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe the real materialistic people will. They're going to remember us. Oh man, that man made a shit ton of money, but he did a really good thing while doing it. LeBron James, probably the biggest basketball player in the world right now. He built a school, right? He's not only known for being an amazing basketball player, but he's going to be known for changing several kids' lives. And that's the type of message people leave. Kobe Bryant just passed away, another basketball player. He was a phenomenal basketball player, but what did people remember him as? His mindset. His mindset that, you know, you could conquer anything in the world as long as you work hard. That was his mindset. People hold that to this day. So what will help you get yourself out of the hole? You will literally levitate out of the hole if you can find a purpose and serve that purpose.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, mindset is so important. And, you know, I want to get to that in a second. No, you know, like there was such a drastic change in your life. I just want to kind of ask you, like, was there like a characteristic that you had that just, you know, like, because, you know, it's not like you changed. It's not like you changed. Like you're still Shahrez, you know, but, you know, sure, you went through like that, those hard times. But like, was there a characteristic that you carried on with you?
It's my confidence in myself. And like I said before, I got to thank everybody. Got to thank the haters for it. Got to thank them. You know why? Because that confidence is what allows me to take risks, right? A lot of people are scared right now. This coronavirus thing has people running around with their heads chopped off like chickens. They're scared shitless, man. They have no confidence. They have no conviction. And that's why they're not taking action. They're not taking massive action right now. My confidence allows me to take action. My confidence allows me to just go dive in the ocean.
Yeah.
Right? If, you know, the thing is that I was in such a dark place. I was getting tired of that dark place. I was tired of getting drunk every night. I was tired of doing the drugs. I was tired of the bullshit. That wasn't me. That was never Shahrez, bro. That was never the guy, you know, who was out there shooting hoops while everybody else was doing that garbage. So I need to go bring that confidence back, but put a new light on it. So what happened? I used that confidence that was still in me and just worked on it. It came to a point where I was, you know, just jumping off random, you know, cliffs and climbing mountains without ropes and, you know, hanging off bridges with one hand. I have a picture of me hanging off a bridge with one hand.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's insane.
Because to me, the only way you conquer yourself is if you install confidence in yourself, right? If you don't have a confidence in yourself, you're not going to conquer many things in life because you're going to be too scared. You're going to be you're going to have a scarce mindset. You're going to be scarce about money. You're going to be scarce with your wife, your husband. You're going to be scarce with your whole, you know, every action you take. You know, everything is confidence, bro. You got to be convicted in yourself. 100%. And TV, all this, you know, all this media, everything, you know, there is, it's pretty much meant to ruin your confidence. So I don't even watch TV. In fact, the only TV that I watched in the past, I'd say 3-4 months, is I watched that Michael Jordan documentary that just came out because I like MJ. But other than that, I don't watch TV at all. I barely go on social media. I'm just about, you know,
why is that?
Bro, what's the point? What's the point of mindlessly scrolling through social media? What's the point of adding garbage to my subconscious? Why do I care if some person can do a backflip or not? Why do I care if, you know, if Kylie Jenner just broke up with whoever that person, or Kim Kardashian did this, or you know, another celebrity did this? I don't care. I don't need to be listening to that stuff. I don't need to be watching that stuff. Because like we said before, your subconscious mind fires 20 million neurons per second. You're not thinking about it, but your mind is perceiving that information. All right? It's like it's coding that information. You don't even know it. So why would you do that to yourself? Do yourself a favor, turn off your TV. Do yourself a favor, put a limit on your Instagram app, put a limit on your YouTube app. My cousin just came over because we have religious holidays nowadays. My cousin just came over and I put a limiting on his YouTube app. I went on his phone. I said, show me your settings real quick. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through your phone. I just want to see your settings. All right, we went to his screen time. Went to the YouTube. The dude was watching 10 hours of YouTube a week. I limited his YouTube to 30 minutes a day. Guess what? Because he installed into my lifestyle, we were working out, doing, business stuff, brainstorming. He was helping me. He wasn't on YouTube for the whole week. It said he was in total 30 minutes on YouTube for the whole week that he was here.
Wow.
Instead of 9 hours, 10
That's
hours.
cool.
Why? Because he was able to throw away that bullshit. Another lesson that comes out of that. Go find something to do. Go find a hobby. The reason why you're sitting in front of the TV scrolling, because you don't have nothing to do. You don't have a purpose.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
For sure. I mean, you know what? Like, going back to when I was doing door-to-door sales, and this was like right after high school. I discovered like my purpose, and without knowing it, like I was in high school. I was asking my teacher. I was like, how do I make a lot of money? Like I was asking my counselor, right? I'm like, how do I make a lot of money? Like I want to, what do I need to study to? How do I set up my career? All this kind of stuff. I was already thinking ahead, right? And then she told me, well, you know what? Like if you become a doctor or dentist, they make pretty good money. So you have to take this course and these courses and stuff like that. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Like why do I have to go through so much school? She's like, yeah, well, you got to do this. These are the requirements to get into post-secondary. And then, you have to do 8 years of post-secondary. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like there's got to be another way. And, and just being open-minded, eventually after high school, I got this job at an interview and going door-to-door sales and business to business. And, I went on that interview. We went into the field and I shadowed for 1 day. And, I watched them go to all the businesses, asked to talk to the owner. And at the time we were actually selling Shaw or TELUS. And so we were helping business owners, with their internet and phone. And so basically we're going to try to switch them from TELUS to Shaw, and we could instantly save them like 50% on their bill. And so, that's a lot of money for a whole year for a business owner, especially small business, because, sometimes they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, phone lines and internet and all this stuff. And so it was a lot of savings. And so, after that day, I was like, how much money did you make? He's like, $300. I'm like, from just doing that? Like, you just talking to people, helping them, know what they don't know and help them save money, and you make money too. I'm like, dude, count me in. Like, that's amazing. And, I fast forward 1 year, when I left that particular office, I realized that, like, my purpose is to help people, because that's what I enjoy doing. It wasn't that like I loved, I don't know, working for Shaw or TELUS. It was just that I loved the exchange that happened where I got to, talk to people. I love talking to people and just helping them. Like, that was amazing. And, fast forward today, I just found another way to add value to people. Now we're helping small business owners with their digital marketing, help them add more revenue and more customers. So, it's crazy to think that, that's my purpose. Like, I never would have realized that, and that's the great thing about entrepreneurism, is that you have no limit on the amount of money you can make. Right. So, I'm sure that's done a big thing for you in your life as well. Right. I mean, ever since you got into the whole space of digital marketing or just getting into business, how did that change the way you saw, your outlook on life?
It makes me feel limitless. Like you said, the thing is, bro, I had a similar story to you, right? Right after this whole basketball situation, I started looking at different career options. And at first I just wanted to make money. I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm good at a lot of things. I'm good at, I could have a career in a lot of things. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what is a job for? I mean, making money, right? So I might as well make a lot of money. So I started looking into, becoming a doctor, all this, stuff. And
Yeah.
I find out it was 13 years to become a neurosurgeon, which was the highest paid job, 500, 600, 700K a year. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Okay, so I look into it, and there's an 8-year program. You 4 years and then 4 years in residency, and you're done, right? Then you can start making money. And I'm like, all right, so I can start making money by I'm 30. And then I find out that program costs 250 grand a year. And I'm like, no way. So I'm gonna be paying $1 million to make 500K a year. Well, most people pay $100,000 to make 40 grand a year. Right? It's the same margin. It's the same exact margin. Either way, they're they made a shit ton of money off of you, and you're just going to be paying off student debt the whole time. So what I realized with business is that you know, there are no limitations to the amount of money that you make. You get what you put in. If you're gonna sit on your ass all day, you're gonna get ass worth of money. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna get up and take massive action all day, then you're gonna get a lot of, you're gonna get actionable amount of money, right?
Right.
So that's what flipped the switch for me, really, and what allowed me to go into business, go into learning. But the thing is, bro, it's not as easy as it looks. At first I'm like, wow, this can be a piece of cake. All I gotta do is
Right.
give somebody this, and then I can get X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it,
Yeah.
right? You gotta build a strong culture in your company. You gotta learn skills, right? You gotta understand your purpose. You gotta solve problems, real problems,
Right.
right? You want to be successful in business, solve problems, okay, and understand your client. Put the client first, and you will win. All right, that needs to be step one. If you can solve a problem and you can understand your customer, the rest will kind of fall in place, right? The rest is just technicalities of the business,
100%.
management, inventory. If you're working in, a physical based business, right?
Right.
The rest is just that, right? You got to focus on the customer. So to me, business it was just a limitless. It was something that made me feel limitless.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had no ceiling. Like I was in control of my life, and I like being in control of my life. Why would I let somebody else control my income? Why would I let somebody control my hours? Why do I need to answer to somebody? I like working with people. I really do not like working for people, Shayan.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody told me, "Hey, I'm your boss," well, fuck you. You're not my boss. That's it. That's my
Yeah.
message to them.
Yeah, and that comes with adding value, right? If you can add value to somebody's life, why wouldn't they want to work with you?
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
that comes down to solving a problem. So, find those problems that you can solve, or the needs that people need, that they need, right? Like, meet their needs. Especially these days, that things have just completely changed. The consumer behavior has completely changed. People are more scared. They want to stay home. They're very conscious about their hygiene, the sanitation, all that stuff, and just people's thinking has completely changed. So like this is going to be the era where there's going to be just so much new stuff happening, new ways of buying, and so things are about to change. But again, that's the opportunity. Are you going to take advantage of that? Like, are you developing the skills right now so that you can take advantage of it before the other people do? Like, someone's going to do it. Like, do something about it. So, and I kind of want to go back real quick here to self-awareness, right? Like, in order for us to even be successful, and this is something that they don't teach us in school for whatever reason, but it's important to get self-aware about your own strengths and your weaknesses, right? What are you really good at, and double down on that, right? For me, it was like my people skills, and so that's what I really focus on, and I just double down on that, and then I learned marketing, and now I've combined the sales and marketing, and one thing leads to another. Once you start reading books, your mind completely just kind of blows up. So, but in a good way. Now,
Yeah.
I want to quickly just can I ask you one last question before we wrap up,
Yeah.
Shahrez. It's been a great time with you. I know we can talk for hours, man. There's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. I'm definitely gonna have to have you on again soon. Just real quickly, I see that you got books in the back there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those, and what you think about it, and maybe what's like your favorite book, and maybe like what should people know about that?
So basically, how I structure my reading in my books is I like to have one book for business and business operations. I like to have one book for marketing. I like to have one book for psychology. I like to have one book for mindset. And then I like to have just one book that's just a plain story, just like a beautiful like book to read, like something fictionist, like uh, you know, whatever, right? Like there's so many books out there that you can just pick up and they're beautiful stories, right? Like people read Harry Potter and stuff like that. I love stories as well. So
Just like watching a movie, right?
yeah, exactly. Those would be my five books that I would go to. And what that gives you, it gives you some versatility, especially if you're an entrepreneur. It gives you some versatilities on what type of books that you can actually read. And, one of my favorite, I could give you a, example of, each book. So one of my favorite marketing, one of my favorite psychology books is Persuasion, right? By Robert Cialdini.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite one of my favorite business operation books is classic, Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? And that's, business right to the core, right? One of my favorite marketing books is how to win friends and influence people. So, those are, some of the books that you can just get started with. And I love books, just like how I said, the subconscious is very, very fast with, it has a very fast twitch triggers, and, it's always rendering information at a very high pace. So when you're reading a book, it renders a lot of information. You have dreams about those books. So be careful with what books you read and how you interpret the books. If you read a book and it's not going to have a positive effect on your subconscious, don't read it. If you already feel like you're not vibing with the book, don't read it. But if you feel like this book is going to have an impact on your life and your personal life and your business life and your mindset, then read it, right? Because you're going to have, you might have dreams about that book. You might find yourself doing things that were in that book without even thinking about it, right? That's how much books have an impact in our lives. They have, even movies have the same amount of significance. So it's very important what we're consuming, that we're consuming it carefully, right? Everybody consumes things differently. The way you look at that tree, I look at that tree completely differently. So that would be my message to people about books. Read whatever you want to read, right? If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, categorize it, right? There's so many books that you can read. Every one is different. And, this whole saying with, reading a book per week, I would say that's not true. If you can read a book, like, for example, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you're going to read a book once a week, I would say out of 4 weeks out of the year, read that book. You know what I'm saying? Because that book is phenomenal. It teaches how to win friends and influence people, which is a tremendous skill to have when you're in business, when you're in your everyday lives. If you want a favor, if you want to be valuable, like you've said, then that book really does help you become a valuable person, right? Other than that, there's a bunch of other books that you can read, but the whole 52 books, don't get overwhelmed by that. A lot of these people would, they're just saying that to, put them at a higher standard. I would say take it one at a time. Read a book, take your time on it, really get the time to understand it, right? What's the point of reading a book if you don't understand the book, right?
I can almost guarantee you, once you read your first book, or you just pick up that book and read even one page, you won't even look back. Like, you just be like,
exactly.
Man, what was I doing all this time?
Exactly. Just pick up, read, take your time, don't rush it. Don't, because what's the point? If you don't read a book and only retain 30% of the information, what's the point? Right? Read it, understand it, read it again, install that information into your mind, and take action on it. Why listen to courses, watch TV, like read books, whatever, absorb all this knowledge and not, put it to use. It's just sitting there. You're letting it rot. This is valuable stuff, dude. People put a lot of time in their life writing this stuff.
Put their whole life experience into one book. They put their reputation in one book. It's a legacy that they want to leave, and it costs you almost nothing.
Exactly. So it's an honor, right? It's an absolute honor to be able to read a book by Dale Carnegie. I love that guy. He's awesome. Yeah. He really made a strong influence in my life. And, I would recommend that book. I would say if anybody were to pick up one book right now, pick up How to Win Friends and Influence People. Let me take it out of my shelf real quick.
Yeah.
This book right here, pick it out. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I would say that's the number one book that you should start off with if you have not read books. And then if you want a financial book, I would say Rich Dad Poor Dad. It will give you the basics of financial education. And those should be pretty good to get you started with business and just everyday life.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
There you go. You got Rich Dad. Hold that up. I got you. These 2 books, guys. All right. You want to get started off? 1, 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome, Shahrez. Thanks so much, man. That was awesome. Like I said, we can keep going on and on, but
Yeah.
we want to make it short and sweet. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. If they want to find you, Shahrez, how can our listeners find
man. Plug it at Shahrez Hayder, Shahrez Hayder, Hayder, at Shahrez Hayder across all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want to, find me on, all platforms, Twitter, TikTok.
you? Nice.
And
Awesome.
I'll be there. And I like replying to DMs. Don't think that, I like to, see myself as a premium brand, but I like helping people also. So feel free to reach out. I'll get to you eventually.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks so much, man. That was awesome. And looking forward to talking with you again.
Awesome. Likewise, bro.
Okay, man.
Appreciate you, Shayan.
You too, man. Bye.